Frederick Douglass, torn from his mother, nearly beaten to death, degraded, silenced. In the midst of all this, he kept fighting. He liberated himself from slavery and expanded his literacy in order to contribute whatever he could to the abolitionist movement. It was voices like his, the voices of those who acutely suffered from this kind of oppression, that have ferried the liberation of Black people to today. I look to Frederick Douglass as inspiration for my own social activism. As a trans person, I am acutely aware of the lack of resources and understanding for people like me. Every day, a genocide advances against my community. Currently, there are 23 US states banning gender-affirming healthcare, and hate crimes against trans people are increasing. I fear for myself and the people I love, and in this constant stream of violence, we still bear the crushing burden of fighting for our own rights. The trans community, ejected from our families, raped, killed, degraded, silenced. We still fight. If Douglass, under terrible circumstances, was able to effect change, then so too can we. But it is too much pressure for a community to fight entirely on its own. It is also the responsibility of the privileged to lend their support to the marginalized. This is what Daniel O'Connell exemplified. While he pushed for the religious freedom of Catholics such as himself, he also used his higher status to advocate for slaves in other countries. While I fight for my own rights, I also fight for those of communities to which I do not belong. My middle-class existence and access to higher education lends me a credibility through which I am able to draw attention to those otherwise ignored. As the internet and travel becomes increasingly accessible, humanity is no longer limited to one's immediate environment. Through this, we are able to create a more unified world. By traveling beyond my own country, I am stepping into my role as a global citizen, ready to serve not just those within my own community, but also beyond it. This study abroad experience will be an opportunity for me to become a more compassionate and educated person, something invaluable in both my professional and personal lives. One of my more difficult leadership challenges occurred when I spoke last year at the Colorado Diverse Attorneys Community Circle panel. The conversation was led by myself and several genderqueer attorneys, its goal being to educate cisgender lawyers on the transgender experience. I was very nervous for this as I have significant performance anxiety. Regardless, I was able to convey myself clearly and initiate a call to action. Though it was a challenging experience, we were able to lay some foundation for trans people to be better protected in the state of Colorado. Whenever I meet a person with viewpoints contrary to my own, I treat them with respect. I know that my experience is not universal, and people will be impacted by things that I do not even have to think about. When this occurs, I use this as an opportunity to grow, learning by being curious rather than dismissing someone for their differences. However, when someone is being hostile, I will either disengage and move to a safe space or stand up for the people around me. Thank you for considering me for the Douglas O'Connell Global Internship. I am excited for this opportunity to effect change. I choose to create a world that tears down obstacles, gives resources without judgment, and teams with diversity. I'm here to use my voice to empower others, because giving space to others doesn't limit our power, it enhances it.